So while my clay is kind of leather hard here, I'm not really going to change the form much more, but I am going to add a whole lot more detail. I just know that sometimes when you're hollowing out the back, it can deform a little bit of what's going on in the front. So I'm going to do that now and then continue on with what's going on up here. Some of it's already, you know, kind of worked through and hollowed a little bit just for me pushing, but there's like a serious distance here that needs to be pulled out. And I'm just going to take my paper clip and start just taking away the clay. It's kind of a tedious process. Some of this clay is pretty soft back here too. But I'm just going to start digging away at it. You're going to feel your animal get so much lighter, which is a really good thing. Again, clay loves to be even all the way through, so I really kind of want to strive for that. And really pull away a lot of this clay. So it'll be kind of digging and pulling. And this is why I have you do it now before we, you know, maybe work towards the fur and more of the more detailed areas of the project. Now, this isn't, a paperclip tool is not the best tool to hollow out a form. It's going to do the job, absolutely. Loop tools work the best. You'll pull away all this clay. And again, I can feel my hands kind of moving just a little bit of what's going on in the front. But I'll be able to fix whatever, you know, kind of mishaps that happen. Like I can feel that the nose is getting smushed a little, maybe the eye just a little bit. I'm really trying to dig in this area. I have the whole snout area that needs to be pulled. But I end up pulling away a ton of clay. Now yours might be a little smaller than mine, so you might not gather this much clay. And I have so much more to kind of grab from in there. Oh. You have to be careful, like you've got to periodically kind of check where you're at and see how much more you've got to go, and your hand can kind of feel. If it's too thick, it has the potential to kind of blow up. So you really want to spend the time with this step. And again, some of yours are much smaller. I don't have to worry about any of the ears, just the inside here. And it's really hard to get in this area. Again, feeling for where the thickness is and where I have to pull clay away. Kind of digging in there. Now I might check. So some of this where the eyes are is getting a little thin. Where down here at the very inside bottom, where the nose kind of reaches forward, that needs some serious work. So I'm just gonna kind of switch the way I hold it and keep going. Making sure, because you don't want to accidentally go through the bottom or go through it. So making sure you're kind of checking for how thick it is. And where it's kind of at. I think right here, like where it gets flat, it's getting close, but I think right in this area here where the forehead comes forward, you can get a little bit more pulled out. And loop tools are really great too because they're a larger space and they're pulling off more of the clay. This is going to do just fine, but and again, I need more out of the snout area. I have a whole bunch of clay over here. So I still have some weight down there. And every time I do that, I'm just checking for that weight. Checking to see the thickness of the clay. And pulling more away. The side wall, really pretty good. And again, you got to be careful when you're doing this. You know, you got to know that maybe a little bit of your front side is going to kind of deform just a smidge. But any deformity, you'll be able to adjust. Still feel so much weight down here, so I might just take a little more out of there. Try to at least. The wall down at the bottom is getting really good. My side walls again. My top wall could probably stand to have a little bit more taken off. She already feels so much lighter, it's amazing. And it doesn't really matter what this inside area, you know, looks like, because it's going to go on the wall. It's not really part of it. It is part of it, but it's not going to be seen. I want to check for thickness. So I use my hand to kind of feel, you know, how it kind of meets up with my other finger. I still feel like where the snout is needs some work. crazy how much lighter she feels. Like I said, you get about a pound of clay back. I started with about 2 pounds, and now I'm getting about a pound back. I think, again, just a little bit more out of the front. It's feeling so much better. Be careful how I hold it. Ooh. So I just kind of felt a little tickle there, so it did, as in when I pushed my tool, I felt it on my finger on the outside here, so I just got to be careful. I'm getting a little thin next to the cheek here. Maybe just a little bit more down at the bottom there. I'm always kind of adjusting how I'm holding it so I can kind of ooh, and I felt another little tickle, and I don't want to go through, so when I feel that again, I felt that on the opposite side, so I gotta be careful. I gotta watch myself. That feels like a million times better. There's still maybe a couple areas that I can kind of work through and pull off, maybe even just a little bit more up here. And really the insides should kind of, you know, replicate what's going on the outside. So it's really kind of pushed in, and then I have my snout way lighter. All this clay, depending on the wetness, this is pretty much, you know, soft leather hard for me. I can take all this clay, because this is important. I have also a bunch of other kind of junk happening on here. I think some of these little stuff can get thrown into my slip. But this sort of leather hard clay, just like our ephemeral sculpture. And again, this is like, it's probably not a full pound. It's probably about a 3/4 pound of clay. I'm going to smush it flat. Nice flat, even smile. I'm going to run this under water and then stick this in a bag. So get this wet. And then stick this is just ran under the sink, stick this in the bag, and it should be rehydrated for next time. And that is hollowing out your form. So I gotta keep working on this, keep going, but that was a big step done.